All right. I'll keep going and tell me if I'm doing something wrong. So we know you have plenty of other options to attend here with your time during JDConf. So our plan for your time investment is first, describe app service itself. We'll give you a brief history and cover the value proposition. Then we have the sample application. We'll show the code and give you an architectural overview. And then, true to the title, show any app. So these are the major stacks that is supported in app service. Now that last one there, actually the last two, Spring Boot and Quarkus, are being run from the Java SE side of things. And then finally, we'll come to our summary. This overview slide will show you the many different pathways you can have to get your Java app running on Azure. We're going to be covering this managed services pathway here, but we also have virtual machines, containers, and serverless, and all of those let you run Java in a very idiomatic way that you're used to with the app service container or the application server that you're most comfortable with. We realized at Microsoft that the expertise for running Java has been built for a very long time before the cloud came along. And these stack vendors really know how to run things well inside the JVM. So rather than reinventing things ourselves, we're partnering with Red Hat, IBM, and Oracle to bring these offers to you. Coming to App Service. Now, Azure App Service offers ease of use, ease of management and productivity, and lower TCO. Everyone likes to lower TCO. We provide all of these managed services for Java SE, JBoss EAP, and Tomcat for building blocks. Now, by doing that, we cover a pretty broad range of functionality just right there. On top of that, though, we give you Java bindings and tools integrations for the best-of-breed Microsoft software, also as managed services. So you can interact with your entire data tier, whether you're running PostgreSQL, SQL Server, or a document database, Cosmos DB, which has a MongoDB front end. If you'd like to put that on top of it, you can run your messaging queues and such, all of those services there as managed services. And really, App Service is the premier PaaS offering on Azure with specific support for all of those key Java stacks that I mentioned. Here's the sample application, and you can get it from my colleague Reza Rahman's GitHub. We are using VS Code to do the development and push a commit to GitHub, and then Maven is doing the deployment. And so we show JBoss, Tomcat, Spring, and Quarkus running there on App Service. And we're using Service Connector as the interaction fabric to handle all of the managed identities. Now, I like to bring out that Microsoft has a very long history of being a very secure platform, and that comes to the cloud as well. So our secure passwordless database interfaces are implemented using Service Connector to handle that managed identity coordination. And then we're using the PostgreSQL service as well. Now, on top of this, we need to enable you to use App Service with many different tools. So we have build plugins. We're going to meet you where you are, whether you're using Maven or Gradle. This demo is using Maven, but you can see we've got the wiki links there to the different pages for the different plugins for both Maven and Gradle. Or you can use the Code to Cloud feature inside the Azure portal. We won't show this in the demo, but I'll hit on it briefly just to show you where it is. You can basically tell using the Azure portal, here's my GitHub repo. Just watch this for when I make commits, and then you can build the code and run it. And of course, IDE support. We've been having lots of great talks about the IDEs, JetBrains, IntelliJ, VS Code. And so we have plugins for that, the App Service extension for VS Code, the Azure Toolkit for IntelliJ, and we even now have Eclipse via Azure Toolkit for Eclipse, which is really, really exciting. We'll start out with JBoss EAP on app service. Now, let me make sure I've done the right thing to share the audio. This is something I need to check with StreamYard. Settings. I want to make sure I get some help to make sure that my audio plays, because I'm about to play a video. And automatically adjust mic volume. I'm just checking to see here if when I play the video, the audio will come across. And Molly, are you able to help me with that?
Hi, Ed. You can play the video, and I'm right here in the background, so I will let you know.
Let me know if the audio comes through right.
Yes.
So here it is. Slideshow, play from current slide, and let's play it. I'm not hearing
all for business success, but they exist on premises, locked inside of infrastructure that is expensive to maintain and difficult to scale. You want to preserve your app server investments, but lack the time and IT staff to move and manage. Red Hat JBoss Enterprise Application Platform on Microsoft Azure offers the flexibility needed for building, deploying, and managing your Java applications in a cloud environment. JBoss EAP on Microsoft Azure App Service is a fully managed, jointly supported platform that increases developer productivity while reducing operational costs and time to market. Organizations can tap into all the benefits of a cloud-based architecture to modernize their existing Jakarta EE applications with features for auto-scaling, monitoring, and security, easier integration with a wide range of Azure services for messaging, data, business intelligence, and more, and a single, flexible, and convenient pricing structure with integrated support from Red Hat and Microsoft. Get automated alerts for application infrastructure issues. And because it's a managed service, eliminate the time, cost, and pain associated with deploying, configuring, and updating virtual machines. JBoss EAP on Azure App Service simplifies the developer and IT operations typically required for Jakarta EE applications. On-demand, pay-as-you-go pricing means enterprises don't have to purchase a subscription. They can simply create a JBoss EAP service on Azure and start deploying Jakarta EE applications right away, paying for only what they need, and receive integrated support by Microsoft and Red Hat. Microsoft and Red Hat are committed to driving Java forward, with a strong partner ecosystem that provides best-in-class solutions to extend the functionality of Java applications. For organizations and developers that want to focus on their applications instead of managing and configuring infrastructure. For those looking for a seamless experience running Java apps in the cloud. And an open platform that provides developer tooling, fully managed platform services, and an extensive set of partner offerings. There's Red Hat JBoss EAP on Azure App Service. Ready to get started? Contact us today.
All right. Well, let's see if Haixia is able to get her audio problem solved. We'll go back to the StreamYard, and we'll ask if you can bring in Haixia. Hello? No, we still can't hear you. Okay. All right. Let's see. Should we try to troubleshoot this some more, or should I just keep going myself? Because I would hate to bulldoze over all of the nice content you had prepared. Maybe you could actually, you want to try leaving the StreamYard and coming back in? All right, let's try that. And we'll get Rory back on, and maybe we'll do some more. There he is, my man.
Understand, but while you're doing this, I'm busy chatting to a few agents in the background, though.
Right.
This is how advanced agents is. I'm doing a presentation on Azure Container Apps security issues with it, and I'm chatting to. I'm not going to mention the agents though, but they pulled out everything. They said quack 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 quack. They gave me images. They gave me a PowerPoint and everything. And I'm not saying that, like, I'm 10x AI person though.
Right.
But it's incredible that I can just do that. Like your talk right here, I can code and I can vibe code what you're talking about me live on air with it just by having a conversation.
Yeah, that's cool. Now I want to put out an idea, and I'd like to see if this exists, and I'd be surprised if it isn't. Many people, I'm in the midst of a jug tour, right? I'm speaking to lots of Java user groups in Germany right now. And tomorrow's my last, actually today is my last day. It's not tomorrow, it's today. Anyhow, I've asked a lot of people, hey, have you ever come to a GitHub project and found that the README is out of date? And yes, a lot of people say, yeah, sure it is. Well, why don't we have a CI/CD enabled thing like Dependabot, where when you push a commit, it looks at your code and automatically updates the README. Because if you've made any changes that invalidate the text that's in the README, it would be a way to keep it automatically up to date. So it would include that file in your pull request, and you'd actually be able to review it and say, yes, yes, yes. So we've reached the point now where you can come up with an idea, and then it's probably already existing, you know. And if it isn't already existing, I'm hoping someone listening to this StreamYard
That's not the biggest issue, Ed. The biggest issue is that which model we're going to use. Because, oh my gosh, every day a new model comes out and I want to try them all, and everyone is better than, just when I think I've settled on a model that I like, someone else comes with another one and I go, And there's subtle nuances to those models that you have to like really see though. And I think that, yeah, definitely that's an opportunity for people to do. But the biggest problem is we're just spoiled right now. We really, really are spoiled.
Spoiled for choice, sure. Mm-hmm.
I myself am a big fan of the models that have been trained to understand code. So there's some models that have been trained to understand code. Yeah, you get the big ones, the big models that can recite Shakespeare. But I don't want Shakespeare. I want code. And I want to be able to have syntax correct. I want to also, not always go down to PowerShell when I want Bash, or Bash when I want PowerShell. I want the correct code though. So I have noticed that there's a huge industry now that is bringing out these models just trained on code.
I changed my computer, so
yes.
you can.
Oh,
thank you.
I know your heart's probably beating very fast, but it's.
Let me set my background. Okay.
Yep.
We set the background. Give me.
Right. Reporting live from the Shanghai office from Microsoft. And I'm glad we got the audio problem resolved. And once you get the background set, you can go ahead and get started. Okay, another thing that Roy was talking about regarding models, there is a really nifty website called SWE Bench that lists leaderboards for these different kinds of models, and you can look at the leaderboards and see how well they're doing against a set of programming tasks. Now, the programming tasks in the SWE Bench are built using Python, not Java, unfortunately. However, the point of the SWE Bench is to basically say, look, we're going to compare apples to apples with regard to the capabilities of the model in terms of reasoning for code. Are you familiar with SWE Bench?
That's another issue though, Ed. There's so many benchmarks now. So not only are there models though, but now I've got all of these benchmarks though, and do you know that we have one on Foundry? Azure Foundry, I log in there and it gives me a benchmark.
It's true, there is a leaderboard there, right?
Yeah, but like, which one do who's, because it might be opinionated, it might be, and I want a code leaderboard. Okay, code, just nothing else.
No. Haixia, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
So, go ahead.
Yeah, so I will start from sharing the demo. Okay, all right.
Yep.
Okay, let me share my screen. I will share with the entire screen. Yeah.
Don't cut away. We're going to do it.
Yeah. Give me 1 second.
Yep. I'm just telling the production people, don't go away. Yeah, you won't be able to see the StreamYard at the same time. So you just go ahead and share your screen.
Window. I think you can see my screen now, maybe. Oh.
Go ahead. And don't worry about the window. It'll go away when you switch to a different task.
Oh, yeah? So
yes.
Now, let me go through our demo quickly. Now we are trying to deploy the multi Java runtime to the app service. I just use the demo to show how it is how simple it is to deploy the application to the remote app server from the development environment. Yeah, our sample contain 4 runtime. One is the JBoss and the Tomcat and Spring Boot and the Quarkus. They share. They serve as the back end of the sample, and they share the front end. The front end is written with the Node.js. So now let me show you how easy it is to run the application on the JBoss. Let me show you the JBoss. I have prepared the. I have to log in. I have set up the resource in my subscription. Yeah. Now let's have a look at the resource. Okay. Before sharing the resource, I would like to show you a quick structure of the source code. Yeah, I asked the GitHub Copilot to summarize the source code, and now I'm sharing the JBoss one. The application is running on JBoss EAP 8, and it used the PostgreSQL as the database and use the JPA for data access. Yeah, now let's have a chat. Yeah, this is the JBoss app service. Let's check the runtime. Yeah, the Java 17 and JBoss. Okay, now let me. Now for the service connection, we leverage the service connector to use the Azure Managed Identity to connect to the database without using the password. So it's very convenient to set up the connection. Yeah, I have set up that, and we just need to enable the connection stream using the environment variable. Now I will try to deploy the app to the remote server. Let's see how. Yeah, I previewed the application before the meeting, so it can save some time. Yeah, now the main one is building the front end and copy the front end and package to the front end to the RAR file, and now it is trying to deploy the application to web app. This is using the Azure the Maven plugin to achieve that. So now we can check the log to see what happened in the remote side. Okay, so we can have a live log stream. We can get the live log from here and observe the process of the deployment. So it's very convenient if you are developing the application and you want to try it on the remote side and see how it works, and then you can monitor the log. Yeah. it will take the remote side will set up the JBoss EAP one time, so we don't have to set up it manually, and it will set up the database connection for us. So it's very simple to configure the application. Okay. Now the JBoss is creating the database. Okay, let's have a Okay, now let's have a look at the Maven plugin will output the URL to access the application. Let me check that. Open the application. Oh, yeah, it is here now. Yeah, I want to have this item. Yeah, so the application is running on the JBoss EAP 8 on the app service now, and with the database connection enabled. So the next, then I will share you the Tomcat one. I try to use the Tomcat to create a backend, and I try to deploy the backend to the application to the Tomcat one time. So now I have the Tomcat set up. I'm using the Tomcat. Let me check the Tomcat one time. It should be 10.1. The latest version should be 11. Yeah, I'm using the Tomcat 10 and using the Java 17. Also, I use the service connector for the database connection. So now let's deploy the application to the Tomcat. Okay, I have to go back to Tomcat. Yeah, I use the same command. It's very easy. Yeah, I use the Azure web app. My Maven plugin. Now the plugin is the application is built and packaged, and now okay, start deploying. Now let's check the log of the Tomcat side. Oh, so when you have any change on your application, then you can very easy to kick off the deployment using the command. So it's very convenient for developer to observe the behavior of my application. Yeah, so let's double check the log. Okay, it starts deploying. This is a very small error, broken pipe. Okay, we can ignore it now. It will not
Right,
stop
but
the
you can see
deploying.
that
Yeah.
this is showing the functionality of the live log streaming. So for quick production troubleshooting, it's actually really good. I also observed that App Service has made some really great advances in the live troubleshooting aspect that we're not going to demo here. But if you look into the Copilot for Azure, if you're signed into the Azure portal, you'll get a Copilot button. And if your account is enabled for that, I don't see it on Haixia's end, but it lets you troubleshoot things live with Copilot as an assistant in the Azure portal.
Yeah. So now the deployment has been finished. So let's check the. Yeah, they are the same. Yeah. We use different database, so this is a new item. Yeah, that's very easy, right? So I will recommend as a developer, I'm really happy to recommend this service for our customer. Yeah, that's all for my demo.
All right.
I will stop sharing.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen, present. Where did it stop screen? Present, share screen. Here we go. And entire screen. Select this and share. All right, I am sharing my screen. So if you're going to bring it up for StreamYard, there it is. And let's go over to the demo for Spring Boot. We can't really say we're running any Java app without being running of Spring. Spring, of course, is a hugely important part of the Java ecosystem and also uses many Jakarta EE APIs. All right, so I've got the demo up here in Visual Studio Code. This is the same repository as we were showing before. I'm in the Spring Boot directory, and I'll observe that we were talking about using the Azure Web App Maven plugin. In the plugin configuration, this is where you can specify all of the properties that you need to configure your application. We're using Java 17 here, but 21 is supported, I'm happy to report. And I'm pointing to the resource group. You can pull that from a property if you like as well. So let's just do the Maven clean package Azure Web App Deploy. And while that's running, I will open up GitHub Copilot and ask it to talk about the same exact thing that we did here. I had primed it here. Tell me about this application. So it's a Spring Boot application with a backend architecture. It exposes the following REST endpoints and gives you an overview of the local and Azure deployment. So all of this is read by the GitHub Copilot. You can choose your different models. I'm using Claude Sonnet because that's the one I like at the moment, but it might change, right? We have these leaderboards, so we can pick a different model. So it's picking up my subscription. And while it's going, I'll switch over to the portal. There we are. And here, this is my resource group where I have things deployed. And I'll scroll down to log stream. We should see this going also. There we go, connected to the log stream. And while this is also going, we've got that. Let me pull up the Copilot in the Azure portal and let's ask it. Okay, not now. Okay, starting live log stream. So I'll ask this. I am using app service. Where in the Azure portal can I specify a GitHub repo for deploying code to cloud? And while that's going, okay, completed initialization. We're still going here. Let's see if my terminal is done. Build success. Yes, and here's the application URL. So let me open this, open the URL. And so I can say, demonstrate Spring Boot functionality. Yes, item added successfully. I'll click this. It's done. Back to the portal. Not that one. This one. Yeah, here we are. Okay, so let's see. Navigate to the portal. In the left menu, select Deployment Center. Under Settings, choose GitHub as your source. So let's test it out here. I'm not going to actually deploy it, but Deployment Center. There it is. Great. So using Copilot inside of the Azure portal solved my problem. It directed me to where it is. And this is loading. Right. Select code source would be GitHub. And you could pick my organization. It's, I think it's Azure Java EE. well, I'll do it Ed Burns there. And you can pick from your repositories. And I've got a ton of them, of course. So if I had this one cloned into my own repo, I'd be able to point to it there and deploy it. And you can even specify a branch, and then you can pick your runtime stack, and it's really awesome. So you can go straight from code to cloud. Next up on the demo list is, let's see, go back to my slides. Quarkus. All right, Quarkus is a super popular runtime from Red Hat. It is a cloud-native Java runtime, and in contrast to Spring Boot, which is a layer that came on top of the Spring framework, which was not exactly cloud-native, but they made it more cloud-native with Spring Boot. Quarkus, on the other hand, was started in 2019, so it is fully cloud-native and has its own set of plugins. So let's see how we're implementing that. So I'm going to quit code and open it up again into the Quarkus directory, QUAR, there you go, code dot. And let's open up, you can see there, we're using the uberjar package type. So this is running on the Tomcat, I'm sorry, the Java SE version of app service. So if we select the POM and search for resource group, there we are. Here is the one that we're doing. Yes. And I'll run the same command as before. Let's open a new terminal. And while it's running, I'll do a little bit of more explanation. Azure clean package, Maven clean package, Azure Web App Deploy. Scanning the projects, and okay, it's going to run. Now, this one is interesting because Quarkus, of course, has its own Maven plugin. So we're using kind of a combination of things here. We're using the Azure Web App Maven plugin to handle the Azure deployment portion. But if you're wanting to run it locally, you can use Maven Quarkus Dev. And there is a lot of great documentation out there for the Quarkus Maven plugin. The functionality of the application is the same as before. So let's go over to the portal and see how things are streaming along. We're in the StreamYard and we're streaming. There we go. Here's my resource group. I'm going to not deploy this. And let's another instance of app service and the same app service plan. And down to log stream, connecting. Let's close this tab here. Okay, and back to the terminal. All right, it's deploying using the jar runner. Okay. Oh, and we can see there already is some activity on this deploy async. So this is showing me it's using Hibernate and Panache. Panache is the ORM layer of inside of Quarkus. And let's go back.
So Ed,
yes,
I know that we had some excitement during the talk, but we do have our next speaker. So this is just me.
Well, all right. Let me click this. Can I? Is this like my 2-minute warning?
Yeah. Carry on until the other speaker, until they do that though.
I've got 2 things left. Zero, demonstrate Quarkus on app service. And I can check that off as done. And I want to leave you with a few lessons here. One, which is super powerful, is that now you've got GitHub in your Copilot in your IDE. You can learn more about the code that you're working with. So if I could ask it here, and I'm just going to put the query out there. How is Panache used in this app? So any good presentation to them with a message, a call to action of how to do things. So there's 2 actually here. One is don't be afraid to use GitHub Copilot in your IDE because it will let you learn more about the code you're developing. The second is app service is the best and only Java PaaS on any hyperscale cloud. We give you coverage for the most popular enterprise Java workloads. We have a full suite of tool support It's also very easy to use, as I've shown. And I'd like you to take some time to fill out this survey here. We're hitting you with lots of surveys.
Oh, that's going to be popular. That's going.
Yep.
You mentioned $100 gift card, and
Right.
oh.
So get on that. This is the survey I've been using during my 7-city German Java user group tour, which I'm completing tonight. And it's a custom design survey to cover the app workloads that we're working on here today. So thank you everyone. And we'll take it away.
And everyone roots for everyone to make sure that the session went great. It went great. And we've got an incredible session afterwards. You want to stay on here. It's the Paquito build packs for Java containers run by Anthony and David. So I'm not going to talk anymore. You can play their session though, and let's go watch some Paquito build packs with Anthony and David.